let's start off with the first demo review. Going to be actually having a look at Knack. Now, this was meant to be a bit of a specialty video. Now, we saw the announcement only yesterday on the 14th, or no, sorry, not just the 14th, a few days ago, that he announced his retirement. And I kind of looked at it and was like, damn, you know, I don't know Knack personally. I haven't had a chance of seeing too many of his games. I know that the Eternal J and I had an opportunity of casting him when he was on Daytona for the EPL quals, and then casted him last year for when he was playing on Red Candace, I think that's how you say it, for ESL 1 Road to Rio. And outside of that, you know, I've seen Knack around, but I hadn't really had too much of a chance to sort of know the guy or, you know, watch many of his games. But it was like a big disappointment, I think, for a lot of people when they saw him, you know, stepping down. He's 33 years old now. You know, he's getting on. He's had a very long career in Counter-Strike. I remember, well, I don't remember, but, you know, back in 1.6, playing with G3X and MIBR, Complexity, then going into CSGO, he started coaching off LG, where I think he went to like, what, 2 majors, went to ESL 1, Cologne 2015, and Cluj, being as a coach for LG at the time, then moving back into a bit more of a player role. We saw him on like Keyd Stars, on LG, Sharks, like he was around for a very long time, had a very strong career, I want to say. Unfortunately, never managed to make it to a major as a player, and then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, you know, I'm writing up the details for this special, and then he gets picked up by MIBR as their strategic coach and content creator. So it's not quite the end for Knack, but it is the end for him as a player. So I thought, what better way but to look at one of the biggest highlights of his career. Now, I was looking back through HLTV, and there was an event that sort of really caught my eye. This was a matchup in which a single map, he was able to post the highest rating that he's ever had against a top 30 team on LAN. Now, this event was the PLG Grand Slam 2018 back in Abu Dhabi. I think like Dinko and Harry and Hugo were casting that event, if I remember correctly, because Greyhound were there. So I remember watching the event pretty vividly. And look, Knack had a really big performance on one of the maps against G2 in the semi-finals. Ended up winning the map, I think, like 16-6 or so, and had a really, really great T-side. I think he went about 22-9, put up over 120-odd ADR and a 1.72 rating, which was the highest rating that he's managed to have against a top 30 team on LAN. And I just thought, you know, what better way but to look at a highlight of Knack of where he was really, you could say, in his prime in a big name event. So what better way to be able to get this demo started but just to jump straight right into the game. A bit of util out from Ivy maybe pulls a bit of Knack's attention away. And yeah, he's actually going to start to reposition. So you can see the way in which G2 are actually using utility to take Ivy control. Now Knack has to go, okay, I need to reposition because we're in a very similar situation in the last round that Exit was holding Ivy and then started to relocate. Very similar in the sense that no one's actually got this Ivy line. So rather than Knack holding out from Pop Dog, he needs to establish a bit of a crossfire that instead Leo Drunky can hold that angle and Knack has to be the one to reposition off of the bomb train towards the back of Red to try and look towards Ivy. Gets that first kill, and the second gets a little bit unlucky there. Probably has mouse wheel up or down that when he was spraying, he actually jumped up into the air, but making sure that he's containing the situation really well, not allowing them to actually get out of Ivy. No one goes down on that city side, so keeping the economy line very, very strong. And now we're seeing the rifle investment coming through from G2. Exactly the same util set. It might have been in a, maybe not so much a different variation, but at least different in positioning exactly. Flash goes over from T-Com, Molly goes down to Pop Dog. And that actually disallows Jax and Lucky to continuously swing out from Pop if they would have wanted to. He sees that one info over the player in T-Con. Nade comes down. Fair bit of damage with his teammate onto Shox. They run out from Pop Dog, trying to work on the edge of the smoke. The T side, Knack gets a couple of kills, drops that bomb. A lot of information up for the city side. And he's just really got to stay alive here because they realize, Sharks, that, hang on a minute, we've actually got a really big backstab coming through from RCF. So if the two A players of Knack and Exit could just try and hold on to this 3v2, stay alive, that backstab can come through and pretty much claim the round. So you can see Knack not really overextending, getting into a little bit more of a passive angle, making sure that if he is being checked, the T's are going to have to swing out very far into the open towards that camera position. Just having that single lurk from Shox towards Brown Halls while the rest of the presence is out here from Ivy. what a read this is from Sharks too. Look at the way they've been able to, maybe not so much establish a crossfire, but look at where they're positioned. You can see J&T's holding out from T-Con. You can see Knack is towards here from camera, waiting for them to come out from Pop, if there is any presence there. And then you've got Exa and Leo Drunky's attention pulled towards Ivy. So there could potentially be, if that Ivy contact comes through, Knack starts to fight too. So there's 3 players out from Ivy. Resmoke comes down from Pop Dog 2. Now starts to back up Leo Drunky, playing anti-flash. They swing with it, and it's just mop up. Doesn't get much easier than that the second time now that the mouse wheel has bugged him up. But, yeah, Shox was the lurk in Brown Halls, and now he's the only one remaining for G2. Money's starting to really build now for Sharks. And again, it's just this continuous utility, flash HE into T-Con. Getting at least maybe G2 realizing that they're flashing and nading every single round, because I almost get the feeling that maybe the last 2 or 3 rounds that nade hasn't quite done any damage. Now, it works both ways. So G2 go, okay, we're not going to take T-Con early because we keep getting naded, but then at the same time for Sharks, even though they're not doing the damage, they're making sure G2 aren't taking T-Con control early. So although you're not getting a positive in one avenue, you're also getting a positive regard in another avenue, which is them not taking T-Con early. Resmoke coming out from ramp just as the other one starts to dissipate. Perfect timing on that. 40 seconds left on the clock. G2 are down a man advantage, or man disadvantage, I should say. And he's even got a molly, so as soon as he hears anything, he can just put that molly down, try and waste more time, bring rotations over from connector. Okay, like 24 seconds left on the clock. Maybe the molly is a little bit delayed. Oh, damn it. Okay, that was a lot quicker than I anticipated. Let me see if I can just go back a fraction. Sorry about that. Let me get back to that position. I don't know what button I pressed. It's about, what, 30-odd seconds here. Right, so we get into this position. Now, G2 are obviously just lining up to take ramp and go B. The molly is a little bit delayed here from Knack. Ah, oh, man, you know what it was? It was the mouse wheel again. This is probably the 4th time, actually, which can be the struggles, but sometimes in having mouse wheel up or mouse wheel down. Anyway, molly goes through, doesn't quite land in the exact position, so it is going to take a little bit longer for it to pop. And he even peeks with it. Rather than just falling back and maybe having his head crouched down and just waiting for the molly to do its job, he's actually looking to have intent of taking a fight. Finds that first kill, looks over towards the default position, anticipating that someone has already swung out rather than continuing staying at ramp. Drops that bomb from Lucky. 2 kills already going the way of Knack. Might even be on for a little bit more. 3K, not quite the 4th. That was really well played coming out from Sharks. It just comes down to timing, right? We see how low that timer is. The resmoke comes down about 40 seconds, just under 30. Gets about towards 25, 26. Molly goes down. Maybe it wasn't the most perfectly placed molly, but it does its job. A really great read from Knack too, being able to deal with the right and the left side of that blue train, both finding a couple of kills, even following up with a 3K. That was a really good hold. That was probably one of the best rounds we've seen from Knack so far. And Knack's got a pretty tough time here because he was playing Pop Dog, but now with the pick coming through from Ivy, he's kind of got his attention pulled from 2 different angles. He's got to check Ivy, but at the same time, he's got to be worried about if anyone swings out from Pop. So that's why you can see him checking both left and right. All just comes down to a matter of timing here from G2. Now, that molly and Pop Dog can actually allow Knack to keep a little bit more of a close eye on Ivy. Swings out, sees the AWP from Shox, so knows that they've gathered some deep Ivy presence, and now it's going to go old bomb, potentially try and wrap them. Smoke goes down. He could push forward of it if he likes, if he wants to be ballsy about it. Ooh, a little bit of a gap on that Ivy smoke. That's not a great smoke, actually, from G2. And Knack actually capitalizes on a pretty simple duel onto Jax. 40 seconds on the clock. Jax is just a lurk out from Ivy. Knack's just playing towards a bomb train. J&T's at least going to bring back that 4-on-4, deal with the lurk. RCF's got aggressive, so knows that there's a player in Pop Dog for Knack to deal with. And even so, doesn't need to. His teammate backs him up. Now, they know that he's here considering he fired a bullet, so they know that Knack is somewhere around this bomb train. So the best thing that Knack can do, rather than just playing passive and hiding, like, they know he's there, he's got to fight. So he actually starts to swing out from this camera line. Now, with Shocks and Lucky between them relatively low, you got a half HP Lucky and Shocks on 2 HP. There's a chance that you could get a double kill here. That's the first, that's the second, and look, for G2, they just try and get the bomb down rather than keep fighting, and it doesn't work out for their favor. Kenny S is now in a 1v3, and his best bet's probably just to hold on to this AWP, bringing it to round 14, nothing he can do. Bomb gets dropped, time's too low. Very, very nice 14th round up for Sharks, and a really good play from Knack, realizing that he has to fight in that scenario and does a lot of damage. The body is super aggressive. Oh, he's been seen, and the Deagle deals with him. No damage is done to this T side. Complete Brownell's control. You can see the CTs are starting to scramble. Jax has now been the rotator over. Flash comes through from Brownells, smoke coming through from Deep Connector. So it seems like for Knack, over on this T side at least, has been a very supportive and been like the 4th/5th player into the Xe. He's normally been the one throwing all the util over for his teammates. 5-on-2, bomb plan comes down towards default. A lot quicker this time around than in comparison to the last. And G2 just instantly save. They don't even want to think about this retake. Money is not that great. Yeah, Jack's body and Shocks have a fair bit in the reserve, but with Lucky and Kenny S in a 2v5, just hold on to that AWP, hold on to that AEG, and just hold on to it. No point going for it. It's too risky. Not worth the investment. Not worth the risk versus reward value. Potentially, but I mean, that's difficult to tell whether he heard that or not. So I don't think Jax was running for a majority of the time. I think he was walking for the most part. Anyway, Knack is holding the Pop Dog line, finds the opening man advantage, and knows straight away that they've already cleared out Brown Halls. So they need to get a bit of a move on back towards the A site, and he's got the bomb on his back too, so that's been seen. Flash comes forward to help Leo Drunky get out of Sandwich and maybe try and take a fight onto the player towards back green of Lucky. You've already got RCF in heaven somehow. I suppose because they kind of have taken full side control with that back green smoke too. But a lot of map presence here for Sharks. Leo Drunky falls. Swing comes out from Knack. They've seen that bomb again for the secondary time. Molly comes through to connector. Or from camera, sorry, I should say. Planning for pop. Starting to clear out Ivy. Hasn't seen anything. Neither the hell. Gets into Olaf and just plays passive in the post plant. 2v2 now. Now, Molly comes out towards the right side of Olaf. Smoke 2 onto the bomb, I think. And now Knack's in a 1v2 clutch. So it's down to Body and Shocks. They've got one kit between them. Ooh, I tell you what. That smoke actually goes down from the CT side of a little bit further back from Sandwich, which kind of blocks up Body's angle onto Knack. So now, this actually creates an opportunity in which Knack can just swing onto Shocks and deny that bomb from being defused. Spam starts to come out. They're actually not on it. Knack starts spraying through. They've got to get back onto the bomb. Getting close to it. He's blind. Glock comes out. Oh, he's done it. Oh, he's done it. Not only was the smoke on the bomb, but he was blind too. The Glock spray, or taps, you know, over and over again. Ends up finding the kill. Body doesn't have a kit. They run out of time. What a 1v2 from Knack. That was kind of, in terms of the utility being used from G2, it was kind of poorly played. I mean, Knack, as soon as that presents itself, that a smoke comes down towards Sandwich, he's like, man, this is all I asked for when he was playing from Olaf. I think that's the molly that goes out of Pop Dog. Yeah, molly out of Pop Dog. Now he can nade in to Pop and try and hope to do some damage onto Shocks. Sees him. Shocks decides to get aggressive up the ladder, and Knack is just ready for the peak. So decent combo of the molly and the HE. What you can do actually is double molly pop, that one lands inside and the other one like bounces off the window and lands outside. So it has like a, I don't know, ring of fire, if you want to say, that completely clears out Pop. So it means that any CT playing in Pop Dog actually needs to get aggressive up the ladder and fight, or just leave Pop completely, or put a smoke down. But your options are very limited if a T side double mollies Pop. So 20th kill up for Knack. 3 players left for G2. The bomb's probably been seen from Ivy, considering Jack swung out to Leo Drunky. Next now coming in from T-Con. Just gets timinged. Kenny S tries to reposition out from Popdog, and Knack is ready for him. Body gets caught off at the back of the bomb train to... Ooh, getting close to actually being taken there from Knack. Bomb gets dropped out from Ivy. 1 versus 1. This is actually going to be another clutch attempt coming out from Knack. He's seen him get over towards Connector, so knows exactly where Body is. Waiting for him to swing. Headshot comes through, and that is a 16-6 result out for the Shark side. Honestly, very, very impressed from Sharks in that opening map in the best of 3 of the semi-final. One thing that we did get to see, at least from Knack in particular, I don't think he was a crazy player to watch. Wasn't someone that was very explosive, very, very passive, very supportive. And it was just a joy to watch some of his repositions. Him playing around utility was something that was very intriguing in how he was able to do that. His sort of mythology when it comes to using utility, especially on that city side, you know, the nade and flash combo towards T-Con in a very consistent basis, making sure that even if it's not doing damage, it's forcing G2 away from taking early T-Con control, the way that he's rotating in between the A and B side, and almost just filling in gaps from the defense, being the in-game leader of the team at the time, just trying to see if he can help his teammates out the most. A lot of supportive flashes and supportive plays coming through to set his teammates up to get multi-frags and to get themselves into right positions. But I think the one big thing we saw from Knack was just positioning. I think it was a very, very strong player in terms of how he was able to reposition himself in gunfights or even to just jiggle peek for info. So, yeah, very impressive. Best of luck for Knack going forward with his new position at MIBR as a strategic coach and a content manager, or content producer, I think it was the title. So, best of luck to Knack, and hope the career continues.